Life will be challenging and you're going to go through some ups and some downs throughout those times, but it's all about how you handle it is what really matters. If you get super excited over one success that isn't your final success, then you can easily get distracted and fail yet again, and that's not what you want to do. You want to focus on the good things that you're doing, but also when you do something bad, you want to make sure you know what that was and you are aware of how to fix it, so that way when it comes around again, you'll be able to fix that problem and make a new process for yourself in order to eliminate that problem again, and you'll be able to grow and mature and learn from those experiences, and those will truly guide you down your path to success.
Probably what is the number one or number two best person singularly to help you think through those problems?
A lot of people just say they want to be successful, yet they never make an action to do such things. They always say, oh, this would be nice, or it would be cool to do that, whatever, but they never act upon it, and they never do anything to further progress their goals of success and try to reach them with any way, shape, or form. But that's the person you need to be, that one who takes the action, takes the risk. It's going to be scary, and you're going to go through hard times for sure. But when you hit those hard times, it's all about how you recover and how you come back from those hard times, because if you just stop and give up, then it will be a full-blown failure. But failing is okay, because if you always bring yourself back, you will eventually become successful.
Look, I was born in Sri Lanka, and at the age of 6, I moved to Canada. There was a civil war in my country. My parents filed for refugee status, and then I stayed. I grew up on welfare. My mother was a housekeeper. My father was in and out of jobs, couldn't really keep jobs, suffered from some depression, suffered from some alcoholism. It was just a really tough, shitty way to grow up in some ways. But, they were good people and they tried their best. I was a byproduct of a lot of social safety nets, healthcare, education being the principal too. And I went to college for a few $1,000s a year in Canada. I was able to emigrate to the United States, and I was kind of able to pull myself up from my bootstraps. I came from nothing. And I've, reasonably accomplished a lot. But there are so many people in the same boundary conditions that I grew up that didn't make anywhere near as much progress, and it's not because they weren't as talented. And this is what I mean by I've been very lucky. So one very telling example, I remember that we had to face an immigration judge when I was 10 or 11 years old. Get the money, and then let's get around a table and let's create new rules. Literally that simple. I'm serious. Do not get it. It is going to be made, it is going to be allocated, and you have a moral imperative to make sure that if you have a point of view that matters and you want to reflect it, you get it. I'm going to go get it. Other people are going to go get it. And then it will be about a competition of views. And don't wrap yourself in all this liberal kind of bullshit about oh my God, money, blah. No, stop. Here's how the fucking world works, okay? It drives the world for better or for worse. Economic incentives drive entire swaths of populations to behave in very, very predictable, and then when you take it away, unpredictable ways. Ask anybody in your class that's from a developing nation. Ask anybody in your class who has seen that play out from where they're from. So that's what you have to do. You got to go and get it. If you control the capital and you have a point of view, you can now, then the question is, don't be a sellout.
I mean, it was an enormous amount of money, but I literally spent an hour a week doing that job, and it was a top 2% hedge fund. And it's intoxicating because you're speaking, and I spoke about Box, and they show a little ticker, and Box literally rips up, and it's up like 50% from where it was. And you think, look at the positive impact I had on all these employees just by opening my mouth and blathering on. It's a very intoxicating thing, but at the core of it is why? Because everybody wants to feel validated. And in the absence of being able to validate oneself from within, you will seek others to validate you. And what's dangerous about the world that we live in, which is entrepreneurship and technology, is that it is so in the bullseye of everybody else now. Everybody wants to be in it, around it, on top of it, under it, associated with it, funding it, being a part of it, employed by it, all of it is true. And so it's a very intoxicating, shiny object that people want to have around them. And so they will use whatever devices that they have to co-opt that. And in my case, it was a very practical equation, which is these governments, these pension funds, these family offices, these very famous, important people have all this money. They're like, Chamath, come here, blah, blah, blah. And you start to fall for it.
And then what we did at that company was we talked about nothing else. Every Q&A, every all hands, nothing was spoken about other than this. Monetization didn't really come up. Platform came up, but again, in a secondary or tertiary context. But it was the single sole focus but because we had defined it in this very elegant way that expressed it as a function of product value, it was something that everyone could intrinsically wrap their arms around. Again, another reason why focusing on, abstracting growth down to these low-level things is not right. So the person that runs growth on any team has to be strategic and capable enough to engage on the core strategy of the product. Because then you allow yourself to up-level the conversation and have it become the most important framework in which you organize an entire company.
Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel and go ahead and like the video. And while you're at it, just let us know what you thought down in the comment section below.